What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao. Thanks for joining us here on TaiwanPlus. China has launched 2 days of military drills around Taiwan, calling it punishment for, quote, separatist forces seeking independence. The exercises come just a few days after Lai Ching-te was inaugurated as Taiwan's new president. He's been described by Beijing previously as a troublemaker. Now, Jaime Ocon is following developments for us from Taipei. Jaime, what do we know about these drills?
Well, these are some of the largest drills we've seen from China in almost a year, which are essentially surrounding the main island of Taiwan. China is also conducting joint patrols in the outlying islands of Jinmen, Matsu, and Wuqiu, which are just a few kilometers off the coast of China. These exercises are being called Joint Sword 2024A drills, and Beijing says they are to test how ready their military is for a potential war. Now, early this morning, China released a statement saying the drills will last until May 24th, and that the exercises are a direct response to newly appointed Taiwan President Lai Ching-te's inauguration speech. Beijing says that Lai's speech was a complete confession of Taiwan independence, and that the speech was extremely harmful, undermining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. As a reminder to what Lai Ching-te said in his inauguration speech, he said that neither Taiwan nor China is subordinate to one another, and that Taiwan can be called by its official name, which is the Republic of China, or simply just Taiwan. And that's important because no Taiwanese president has so clearly defined Taiwan and China as separate countries before in their inauguration speech. And this angers Beijing because it views Taiwan as part of its own territory.
And how has Taiwan responded to the announcement of these drills? What have you heard from the military?
Well, the military says it condemns these exercises as they jeopardize security in the region. Taiwan is currently working with the Coast Guard to monitor the situation. But so far, the military has dispatched air, land, and naval units, as well as missile defense systems around Taiwan to boost the country's defense. But it's still kind of early to tell how big these exercises are. This morning, the military reported one Chinese drone operating around Taiwan, but that activity was from Wednesday. The military says we'll have to wait until Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. to get Thursday's full Chinese activity report. But this isn't the first time that Taiwan has seen activity like this. China conducted similar exercises in 2023 after then-President Tsai Ing-wen met with U.S. Speaker McCarthy in California. So Taiwan's military says it is confident it can ensure the country's security, but it's remaining vigilant and alert at all times.
Thank you, Jaime. That was Jaime Ocon reporting live for us in Taipei about China's new drills around Taiwan. Disagreements in the legislature continue to simmer, and with more votes on controversial reforms scheduled for Friday, the main opposition Kuomintang is hitting back at criticism following large protests earlier this week. Sally Jensen went to see what the party has to say.
Taiwan's main opposition party, the Kuomintang or KMT, has hit back at accusations of opaqueness in the legislature.
The biggest lie in recently situation is the legislative process is opaque. Expecting the world to play along with this charade is absurd.
Speaking to foreign press, the KMT condemned the actions of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, following brawls in the legislature that triggered public protests. Accusing the DPP of violence and intimidation, there were also more serious accusations from legislator Chen Qinghui, who accused a DPP legislator of sexually assaulting her in the scuffle.
This DPP harassment and abuse from the ruling party legislator has severely damaged our nation's international reputation.
She is suing the man in question, and he has apologized for any harm during the scuffle. Now, more bill readings are set for Friday, and possibly more scuffles and more protests by those who want to see the KMT's proposed bills thrown out. But the KMT has made it clear its determination to get its way in Taiwan's legislature. Kama Xu and Sally Jensen in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The foreign ministry is downplaying concerns that Taiwan's relations with its last diplomatic ally in Europe are in danger after the Vatican said that it wants to open a permanent office in China. Chris Gorn explains.
The Vatican's ambassador to the Philippines, Archbishop Charles John Brown, with President Lai Ching-te after his inauguration on Monday. Lai says the relationship between Taiwan and its last diplomatic ally in Europe is strong.
这几年来，台湾和梵蒂冈持续透过各层级的相互访问，增进彼此的情谊。
However, on the same day, Vatican officials said they wanted to open a permanent office in China. The move would signal a massive upgrade in the historically difficult relationship between China and the Holy See. And China, for its part, expressed openness to furthering ties.
我们愿同梵方共同努力，推动中梵关系不断改善。
With relations between the Vatican and China improving, some in Taiwan have worried that they might lose yet another diplomatic ally. When Lai Ching-te's predecessor Tsai Ing-wen took office 8 years ago, Taiwan had official diplomatic relations with 22 countries. And as Lai's term begins, that number is now just 12, and the Vatican is Taiwan's sole remaining ally in Europe. But for the moment, current and former diplomatic staff say there's no need to worry.
我方了解，教廷盼促进中国天主教徒拥有信仰自由与权利，在近期台梵互动上，与教廷高层互动良好，彰显台梵邦谊深厚。
即使他设立一个办事处，离真正的要建交还是有一个相当的距离。最基本的原因就是大陆没有宗教自由，它最主要就是要让有信仰天主教的人能够过一个好的信仰生活，希望跟中共的政权
Religious freedom groups like ACN International say the prospects for improved religious freedom in China remain poor. In its relations with China, the Holy See may have to weigh the benefits of gaining access to its millions of followers there against the risks of working with a regime which aims to minimize its influence. Chris Gorin and Devin Tsai for TaiwanPlus.
French President Emmanuel Macron is in New Caledonia in an attempt to calm tensions after more than a week of riots that have left 6 people dead. Macron announced the arrival of 3,000 French security personnel, and he met with local officials and business leaders. Riots erupted in the Pacific Island after Paris lawmakers approved electoral reform that would allow non-indigenous residents to participate in local elections. Protesters fear that this change will dilute the indigenous Kanak vote and undermine efforts to secure independence. Macron said the additional security forces will help bring the situation under control. Tens of thousands of people have filled the streets of Tehran for the funeral of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi. Raisi's casket was draped in Iranian flags and it was carried through the crowds alongside the 7 other people who died in a helicopter crash earlier this week. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, presided over the funeral at Tehran University. The funeral was attended by top leaders of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and by representatives from dozens of countries. Elections for a new president have been set for June 28th. Taiwan's new premier is in the east of the country, surveying quake recovery efforts. He's promising to help residents rebuild their lives. But the tourism sector, which is crucial to the region's economy, says it's being left out. John Van Trieste reports.
Just 3 days into the job, Premier Zhuo Rongtai is in Hualien in eastern Taiwan inspecting earthquake damage. It's been nearly 2 months since a magnitude 7.2 earthquake toppled buildings, cut transport links, and pummeled the region's economy. People who've lost their homes are keen to let the premier know that whatever assistance they've gotten isn't enough.
住户已经身上都背了房贷了，他怎么去抽出这8000万的费用来拆除？根本就不可能。
Premier Zhuo says the government will ask banks for help, and he's assured residents it will be a priority for the new administration.
国家就是你家，政府就是你的后盾。我们一定要让所有的核定计划项目迅速的加强、加快它的速度。
But not everyone is reassured. The earthquake has been catastrophic for hotels, a mainstay of the economy in this scenic region. Some are destroyed, and those that have survived have seen bookings plummet as tourists are scared off. Aftershocks continue, including a magnitude 5.2 tremor that hit during the premier's visit. But unlike private homes, hotels can't get financial help to pay for costly structural inspections.
很多都建议是希望能够中央是不是可以专案来协助这些旅馆或饭店业者来做一个耐震评估，好，那也能够补助了，好，让他们知道说这个饭店的状况，好，可以做进一步的修缮跟补强。
都是一笔不小的支出。我们是希望在推动这些耐震的详细评估以及建筑物的建物补强的时候呢，从地方到中央都可以给予我们，比如说经费上面的支援，或者是一些技术上面协助的支援。
Ensuring a smooth recovery for Hualien is one of Lai Ching-de's first tests as president. Although his premier says it will be a major focus of the administration, Hualien's tourism industry expects more than it's seen so far. Eason Pan and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Police have captured a fugitive who spent 4 days on the run. The man escaped from a psychiatric facility in the northern city of Keelung on Sunday, and he was caught in New Taipei on Wednesday night. After an attempted murder last year, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and sentenced to 5 years under medical supervision. While he was on the run, schools across northern Taiwan closed outsiders as a precaution. American chip designer Nvidia beat expectations with its first quarter revenue. The tech company reported $26 billion in revenue in the first 3 months of the year. That's up 18% from the fourth quarter and up over 260% year on year. The good performance was fueled by high demand for the company's AI chips, which are largely manufactured by Taiwan's TSMC. Nvidia founder and CEO Jensen Huang says the AI revolution has just begun and his company is ready for the next wave of growth. With climate change warming the planet, ocean temperatures are rising to record-breaking levels. And here in Taiwan, shrimp fishers are facing the consequences. Wesley Lewis reports.
Fresh off the wok, this dish is a favorite in Taiwan, but it may soon be harder to come by, as local spear shrimp populations have seen a sharp decline. About 2 decades ago, spear shrimp could be harvested as far south as Kaohsiung's Linyuan and Chieding districts. But by 2019, the furthest south they could be found is off the coast of Tainan and Zhanghua.
比如说我们在嘉定，抓上来的大部分都是剑虾，然后奇怪怎么抓到最后就是记录到最后就变成不见了。
Some researchers say rising ocean temperatures are forcing them to move to cooler habitats.
可以看到这个表层的温度有到31度、30度。 可是我们可以看到，它跟昨天我们看到的现象不一样，不是这样从头到尾都是均匀的，所以它就慢慢的降温，所以它在底部的，我们底托底部的温度目前大概22度。
Researchers say spear shrimp are sensitive to water temperatures, and below 26 degrees Celsius is ideal.
它目前测到的就从表层是31，然后到了70公尺水深的地方，它总共已经目前是22度，所以我们很幸运温度是一个非常重要的因子，关键因子。
Researchers have been conducting surveys of shrimp populations in the Taiwan Strait. In July 2020, they caught 217 spear shrimp, but by July 2023, the same team only found 141 in the same area. Their research suggests shrimp populations have now moved into deeper waters, further north in the Taiwan Strait.
好，所以我们这次有比较深的地方采样，所以我们在澎湖水道的北边跟澎湖水道里面，其实我们都还是有采到比较多量的这个长脚仿对虾。
With shrimp impacted by rising ocean temperatures, some conservationists say unsustainable fishing is further threatening the population. By keeping up-to-date figures on shrimp numbers and discouraging overfishing, these researchers aim to keep spear shrimp on the menu. Patrick Chen and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for tuning in to What's Up Taiwan. Grab our app or follow us on social media to get more reports on your mobile device. Finally, we take you inside the Dubray Museum in France. It recently reopened after 13 years, redesigned and renovated. I'm Eric Gao, and I'll see you later on TaiwanPlus News.
For more stories from here at the Twin Oaks Estate and around the world, make sure to visit TaiwanPlus News on social media.